kind of have to figure that anybody who's staying on property is most likely going to go into a park.
That's your reservation system, right?
That should be a pretty good indicator as to what the hell is going on.
Just like fast passes used to be.
Right.
So, you think?
They say, hey, we are getting rid of the park reservation. I mean, how many people would be like, fucking right? Yeah, let's go.
Yeah. Welcome, Walt Disney World fans, to another episode of the Notcast presented by NotClub33.com. Christmas came early, y'all. Bob Iger is back as CEO of the Walt Disney Company. My name is Steve Rhodes, and we're going to talk about it. But first, let's introduce who's here with me. I've got Pat Neestad in the house.
What's up?
Becky Wells is with us.
Hey, happy holidays.
And as always, the Disney Cynic is here, Mr. Bobby Burchins.
Celebrate good times, come on.
Let's
celebrate.
Little Cool in the Gang Force there. Yeah. Is that what your lights are playing in the background?
I'd like that, so yes.
They knew on Sunday of last week that the fire could happen. They just started dancing.
So much content.
If you are watching this show, you definitely already know that Bob Chapek has been fired as CEO of Walt Disney World. We're not going to get into that. We are going to talk about what's next for Walt Disney World. Well, in general, what's next as Bob Iger returns as CEO of the Walt Disney Company after Chapek was ousted. So, Bobby, you and Pat, along with obviously your lovely wife, Amanda, did a show recently, kind of just doing, I guess, a post-mortem on the situation. So if folks want to get into the details of what happened, how it broke down, they did a great job covering that. That is on Cynics on Disney podcast. You see that information on your screen. Pat, you said something in that show that I want to pick your brain on, so I'll start with you. You talked about that Iger understands that people like us, Disney adults, and people with shows like this are good for business. It's good. We're goodwill, and that he's going to get some goodwill out of it. That's one of the things that you said. How long does this honeymoon period last, and what's he got to do? What's next on the table for Iger to keep that momentum?
I honestly don't know how long it's going to last, because if he doesn't make changes to the park reservation system, to the APs, people are going to already get pissed at him. So I think his leash is short, but everybody's anticipating, something from him, right?
How quickly do you anticipate that change? Where's that balance between making that change immediately or waiting till after Christmas, where so many people have already figured all their stuff out, and then they start getting pissed because it got changed on them last second? Or is it after Christmas, all right, New Year, let's just get going? What do you...
I think within 6 months.
Yeah.
Within 6 months. Yeah.
Does an announcement appease the masses? I don't...
I think it will.
Yeah.
I think if they
just an announcement, yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm just trying to figure out. We're picking...
If they say, hey, we are getting rid of the park reservation, I mean, how many people would be like, fucking right? Yeah, let's go.
Yeah.
But one thing I found interesting though is in some of the articles online, they said that they're going to get rid of the park reservation for ticket holders, not APs.
Mm-hmm. Right.
So, Bobby, what do you think about that?
I did see that.
That's the rumor.
Yeah,
maybe they got to wait till all those lawsuits settle.
Go ahead, Bobby.
Here I was championing that lawsuit, by those lovely annual pass holders, and now I'm fucking pissed at it. If that's really what the outcome is that I have to sit here and still make park reservations, well, fuck you, drop the lawsuit. That's where I'm at. In all honesty, I get why there's a need for it to a degree for a park reservation. Particularly if you're staying off property, or if you're like me and a local and do the whole annual pass thing, that I can kind of understand. But you kind of have to figure that anybody who's staying on property is most likely going to go into a park.
That's
So you
your
should be able
reservation
to.
system, right?
That should be a pretty good indicator as
Yeah,
to what
you
the hell's
think?
going on.
Just
Right.
like fast passes used to be.
Right.
Right.
The
So
You think? Yeah.
Point.
there's
Yeah.
to me, there's other ways that they can obtain this data, and I don't think that 1,000 people one way or the other is really going to push the scales, so to speak. Whether it's staffing or any other type of needed beverages for the day, I don't think that many people, from an annual pass holder perspective, is going to tip the scales to the point where they would need to continue it. But it's all dependent, of course, upon what the actual data is.
True.
I don't think that the goodwill lasts very long, if only because, truth be told, the Disney company is in a very difficult spot right now, and I think
Yeah.
that last financial report says that tough decisions are going to have to get made, and some of them were already started very unpopularly by Chapek before he was ousted. So I think it's time for us as Disney fans to kind of buckle in for a minute. There's not going to be a lot of positive stuff coming out until probably the end of his tenure. And that's just my opinion, but I think here for the next year or so, we're gonna have to kind of play it, a little bit close here and say we'll give him a little bit of space, but that's it, because he's got to enact something here to bring us all back into the fold.
Sure. I mean, if they get rid of Genie Plus and do the old Fast Pass system and charge for it, probably that would go a long way with
See,
a lot
stop
of people.
suggesting stuff like that. Here's what I would, if I'm having a wish list here, go back to the old Fast Pass Plus reservation system, but also offer the Lightning Lane that you can purchase, so that it's kind of the best of both worlds. It does give you that free and crowd control that I think everybody's been opining for ever since the Genie Plus was brought to the forefront, but I don't think it's capitalistically or even as a guest wise, wrong to necessarily say I would, pay $20 to go make sure that I ride this attraction today. And if you have that one dead set attraction that you have to ride on your next vacation, I have no problems with that. Where I have the problem is how ineffective that the Genie Plus system was at crowd control, and that's what it was purported to be. It failed in every single regard except nickel and diming the customer, and that's where it pisses me off.
Okay.
Becky, where do you think this all lands? What's something that Iger's going to do next that's within the realm of his 2-year tender? We've been told.
Well, yes. I first want to say, like, how greedy are we all going to be? Because I mean, we already got the one thing everybody wanted was
Ding
Bob
dong, the
Chapek
witch is
gone.
dead. That's right.
And so it's like, well, now here's the rest of my laundry list. Like, but I mean, it all kind of, I think it all goes together. I want I'm always going to say the same thing. I want the cast members to feel like they're valued again, so that the experience of interactions with the
Yes.
everyday, everybody you interact with is great. Josh and I were talking about this, and he's like, the last 2 times we visited, he sounded cliche. He's like, I feel like the magic was gone. And I gave him a look immediately. And he's like, not like that. But because everybody's like, the magic, not, fuck off. No, because everybody's like, the magic's gone. I didn't get 20 extra free things. No,
Right.
more like he feels like the reasons that we always loved going was, anyway, you could strike up a conversation with someone and have a genuine interaction and have a fun time, even if you're not necessarily like going and doing any one thing. The last couple times we've gone, it's been very few and far between. He's like, you could walk in any resort and you feel like you're the most valued customer, even if you're just walking through. People are friendly. He's like, it's not like that anymore because they don't all want to be there. And so I think that would go a long way. I've got some friends that work there, and they, it is a very ebb and flow of like, this week was awesome. We're doing this and this. Then it's like, nobody cares about us. So it's like,
well, they're still in negotiations for contract with the union. I mean,
sure.
yeah.
So I
will
think
say, though,
that goes a long way to the overall feel of the park, is when the people who are there want to be there, and I don't mean the people paying. So
I have been to the park since the announcement, and on Sunday anyway, with when my wife and I went to Epcot. you could definitely tell that there was a little bit of a different vibe. It sounds stupid, but when we went to go ride Guardians of the Galaxy, the holiday edition or what have you, you know, we didn't get the same sort of guff for being late to the to the boarding
Finally,
pass and
virtual queue.
everything like that.
Yeah.
present.
You know, but like seriously, like they gave us a lot of grief for like last time that we weren't there right on time when the boarding group was first called. This time we kind of got there middling or whatever, and yeah, absolutely, they were like, "Yeah, come on in, it's fine." It's a completely different attitude, and I don't know if the CEO really genuinely
Yeah.
changes it that much. But if it does, fuck, thank God he's gone, because that's the last thing I want is to get bitched at for showing up late to my vacation.
We're still firmly in the honeymoon phase, I think, at least through the start of the new year. But I think to Pat's point, getting something announced in the next 6 months, I think even sooner is going to be key. And whether that's rebranding Genie Plus to Fast Pass, or just bringing back the system that you pay for, or possibly still charging for it, but maybe deluxe resort guests get it free, something of that nature. There's going to be some goodwill.
Suggesting this, stop making it happen that way. I mean, God.
Well, that's what's going to happen. They've already got the money. They're not going to.
I would like to have it on my AP at no additional cost, and all the stuff that you guys keep suggesting is taking that option away from me. So stop breathing that into existence.
That you guys had with how much a percentage that price went up, you guys should absolutely get a certain number every.
I agree.
Absolutely,
I think they need to have a tiered AP system like they've always had a tier. Yeah, but they need to have a tier where hey. This top tier doesn't have blackouts and you don't need a reservation. This top tier has some blackouts and you only need reservations on the most expensive or the most busy times. This tier comes with Genie Plus. This, every other park does it. Six Flags does it. Universal does it. Why can't Disney do that and block that off for APs? It can totally be done. I just think they're going to address the day guest first, especially because it's the easiest thing to do is just for them to flip a button and say, hey, I already know this guy bought a ticket for July 1st through the 8th, and it's valid for that day, so I need to have capacity for said traveler. It's real simple. It's a lot harder to assume that Bobby's going to come on a random Tuesday. We don't know. Mm-hmm. So,
maybe
that's why they're...
Maybe I won't.
Well, exactly.
Another thing I would add, speaking of Six Flags, is I think a good thing that would go to like goodwill to, and this would be easy, is clean up the parks. Make sure the bathrooms are clean, the trash is put away. I mean, I don't know if this is tomorrow's spot, but like,
I mean, yeah.
I mean, like just and then like refurbishing like rides and stuff quicker. Like, because you go to Toy Story Land and you got peeling paint. I mean, I feel like if I want to
even a refurb, that's just maintenance.
Right. It's just
normal stuff that you.
If I go to a Six Flags, I expect that, but when I go to Walt Disney World, I don't expect to see that kind of stuff.
And for anybody who is like going to harp on us for like pointing out the trash stuff over and over again, I can tell you, Amanda, as a cast member, was taught a very specific way to pick up trash. It's part of Disney culture to like make sure that all that kind of stuff is clean. The fact that we keep harping on it and keep bringing it up is because of the fact that it has gone by the wayside, and that has absolutely changed the company culture. And that's what we all as Disney fans want to see be brought back.
On the bright side,
the difference is gone.
On the bright side, Mr. Iger did say that the parks are the soul of the company. Those are his words. And then the other thing he said prior to him becoming CEO again is the word on the street is he was around town in Los Angeles saying that Chapek had killed the soul of the company. So if he believes the soul are the parks and Mr. Chapek was killing it, that means Mr. Iger's return could mean good things for us Disney World park fans and Disney park fans in general.
Sounds to me like he was a listener of the Cynical on Disney podcast is what it sounds like.
He's listening to what's going on in the general Disney fandom community. And it doesn't sound like he really is too keen on the park reservations based on his reaction to the question that he got at the employee town hall. We're recording this on the Monday of that town hall, late November, and didn't sound like he was really totally sure of how that worked because he had yet to see it operate. So that might be one of the first things that goes, and I'm sure to the delight of most of you guys watching at home. All right. So that was our wrap on what we expect to see. Do you guys want to do? Should we record a show for the guest out there, our pie in the sky, our Christmas wish list from Santa Bob? All right, we'll do that.
Yeah.
We're not going to go anywhere here, but you guys are. You're going to watch the credits roll here in a second, and you'll have to rejoin us next week on the show as we'll get to that. We also have a show in the can of our favorite resorts for Christmas time. We already promised that was coming. It's still coming. Don't worry, we'll get that to you guys before Christmas, I promise. For everybody here at Not Club 33, tune in again next week as we continue our talk about our wish list for Bob Iger. For everybody here, peace out.